Uganda's justice system is grappling with a number of challenges. One of them is difficulty in accessing justice, especially for the poor and vulnerable members of the society. A large percentage of Ugandans cannot afford to pay the legal services because of their low incomes. Their situation is compounded by the higher legal fees charged by the lawyers. This state of affairs has prompted an NGO called Legal Aid Service Providers Network to advocate for the adoption of a policy for a national legal aid scheme.
The policy has been at the cabinet level, and the reason that has been given to us is that the cabinet needed a certificate of financial implication to estimate the cost of providing and establishing a national legal aid scheme and a national legal aid fund, and also the benefits, to understand the benefits. How does the government benefit?
The policy seeks to make legal services accessible to all persons in Uganda who qualify for legal aid,
which to provide legal aid to people who deserve it. It will show who is able to access, who deserves, because it will have the means and merits test.
According to a recent study conducted by an NGO, Ugandan prisons have a total of 45,534 inmates, 55% of whom are on remand. The study also shows that slightly over 39,000 people have been locked up in police cells around the country. The government spends 200 shillings to feed each prisoner in detention facilities. The figure translates to 26 billion shillings annually.
And most Ugandans, quite a large number of Ugandans, are in detention facilities for what we call petty offenses. So establishing this body and also establishing offices at 13 High Court circuits would reduce the people in detention, both in prisons, that's people on remand.
But the lead researcher in the study, Dr. Ibrahim Kasiliye, says the government can cut the huge cost it incurs by adopting the legal aid scheme policy.
He envisaged that close to 10,000 people from prisons and around 15,000 from police would be released on an annual basis because of having access to this kind of public system.
NTV spoke to ordinary Ugandans in Kampala about their experience in the quest to seek legal redress.
Those people, they pay taxes in everything, and that tax, at least, it is one of the way of showing that the government is giving back to the community. So it can set up a body, they be having lawyers and so on, people who can go and give such kind of advice, and even if the case needs to go to court, they can take them and represent them.
They tell you come after a month, so the delay in court makes, when you take your case to court, you don't have money. Maybe you're coming from, your case is here and you're coming kilometers away, and you lack that money. You may fail to appear before the court.
The researcher says the government needs about 17.8 billion shillings to get the national legal aid policy up and running. The Deputy Attorney General Mwesigwa Rukutana was the chief guest at the launch of the report. He was in agreement with the study findings on the need to enable ordinary Ugandans access justice.
People are suffering, they don't access justice. They cannot afford. And if we talk of serving all Ugandans, then those people are being left out.
Uganda currently has no national body that provides legal aid services to the poor. It only has services provided by the private organizations and the state. Ivan Chimurichgozi, NTV.